As of yesterday, the Dragan update is finally live. This means that we finally have the enhanced Dragan set, as well as a bunch of additions to Dragan event and some outside of the event as well. So, let me cover them. First, let's take a quick look at the bars. The total progress is exactly the same as last time, however, several resources have been replaced. As always, these are the bars for players with 5000 achievement points or higher. If your achievement points are lower than that, your progress bars will be half the length with a bit fewer rewards. The bars will not switch if you reach 5000 achievement points during the event. However, even the low achievement point bars contain the two highlights of the long bars, with those being the Dragan Soul and the new End of Dragan pet. At max rarity, it will offer 20% armor break on bosses, which, while not the best at Mortis, will outperform Azar pet and likely become a new tool for group runs. The collector's bag received a total of 8 new items. The Soul of Dragan is obtainable as a drop from Judgment Day, which is the new Dragan map. At max rarity, it offers 30% damage, 30% attack speed, and 10% increased drops from mobs. This will be tied for the best endgame stat pet. Guardian of Ravenclaw allows mobs all across the event maps to drop items similar to those you get from Rat King and Little Irson. The only way to obtain it is from the designated package with a 3% chance. The Soul of Headless Horseman is awarded from a quest in the new Judgment Day map. It only takes one run to complete said quest, so this costume will be pretty common. The End of Headless Horseman is available from the designated package with a 1% chance. The Pace of War can also be obtained from said package with a 1% chance. The Black Knight Aura can be purchased from Jesse O'Barker for 800 community coins. The Black Knight Circle will be obtainable from the bars of the mini event scheduled to start on April 1st. Here is a quick recap on how the event works. The first bar is based on cursed pearls. The best way to fill this bar is either through Andromants, opening amphoras in Castle Ravenclaw, or unlocking the Dragan's excavation site on the right side of the map and running normal difficulty in group with 4 classes for the class chests. For Bar 2, you want to run any of the 4 maps unlocked through the starting quest on Merciless difficulty. For Bar 3, you want to unlock Dragan's Dojo through the 2-part quest. If you don't have the scope for the quest, I strongly advise farming the group Dragan version until you drop it, as its price otherwise is unreasonably expensive. You have 2 end goals. One is completing all bars, and the second is collecting all the shoulders, helmets, and cloaks to craft the Black Warlord Regalia set, but the process has slightly changed this time around. The Black Warlord Regalia set has received an upgraded variant. In order to craft it, you have to farm the new map Judgment Day, which is only accessible after defeating Dragan in Dragan's Refuge. The entry will cost an additional red pearl. This map is a direct copy of Castle Ravenclaw, with the exception that it is mostly empty. Your goal here is to defeat the 4 guardians in the 4 corners of the map and activate the Staff of Plague to dispel Dragan's invincibility. After you defeat him, you get to open a chest. You want to farm this chest for the 3 blueprints needed to learn crafting of the enhanced set. Once obtained, you will have to repeat all the farm needed for the standard Dragan set in order to receive the upgraded variant. Luckily, the upgrade does not cost any Dragan souls, so if you have the base Dragan set, you don't need to wait until the mini event to upgrade it. Additionally, if you collect the free 3-hour attire from the Day 7 reward of the Login Pass, or purchase the 30-day paid attire in the shop, you can obtain one of each shoulder, helmet, and cloak towards crafting the set items from the new chest, regardless of difficulty. This makes the farm slightly easier and practically can guarantee the set for any level 100 player, given enough time and money to farm a bunch of red pearls, since the entry to the new map technically costs 2 red pearls. Unlike the Ancestral Glory set, this time around the upgrade actually improves the set bonuses. So, let's explore the difference and how impactful each upgrade will be. First off, every class receives an additional 5% health points and armor value from the 1 part set bonus. Additionally, the full 3 parts damage bonus has been increased by an additional 2.5%. Lastly, each set bonus has received some sort of buff. Dragon Knight has received 3 buffs to the effect. Before, using Groundbreaker would increase your damage by 100% and attack rate by 50% for 3 seconds. With the upgraded variant, the damage bonus is improved by 20%, the attack rate has also been improved by 20%, and the duration has increased by 2 seconds. Even though I don't play Dragon Knight, I would say that this is a massive change. The attack rate of Smash is increasing from 6.25 to nearly 7, which is a 1.13 times increase to your final damage. The 20% damage bonus is alright, but more importantly, it is essentially permanent, especially with the duration buff. Groundbreaker breaks armor for 5 seconds and the buff lasts for 5 seconds, which means that you no longer have to awkwardly spam Groundbreaker off cooldown and waste those last 2 seconds of armor break to refresh the set buff. This has to be the single best set upgrade we have seen practically ever. For Spellweaver, I can't say exactly the same. To start off with the good news, this update has buffed base Dragan set. Before, it would shoot a single sphere that would deal 660% skill damage total. Now, it allows you to shoot 2 frozen spheres with a short delay, where each will deal 400% skill damage, both attacking at the rate of 3.57 times a second, provided you have 5 legendary jewels of focus. The upgraded set adds an additional 50% cooldown reduction to Frozen Sphere. This means that with the upgraded set, you can finally attack at the maximum sphere attack rate of 4.16 times a second. Moreover, if you have at least 3 maxed out jewels of focus, you can remove all points from Ice Mastery and move them however you like. Dragan's Spellweaver wasn't even stronger than a Spellweaver with no mythics for the past 2 years, so I'm really curious how this will change. Ranger has received 2 very simple buffs. The damage penalty to Deadly Blow has decreased from 400 to 350% skill damage, and the cooldown reduction was increased from 65% to 70%. The main difference is that one Deadly Blow will now deal 690% skill damage per hit instead of 590%, due to the fact it deals double damage to marked targets, and that 50% bonus is being doubled. On paper, spamming Deadly Blow will now deal higher damage per second than what you can do with the Ancestral Glory set, but you have to keep some things in mind. The damage bonus only affects the single target damage and will not have much of an impact on maps. Maybe you will kill a target one hit faster, but this kill attacks so fast you might land 1 extra hit on the air. Additionally, this will barely impact the set's power against Mortis, since most of the damage comes from elemental essences and those don't get affected by the set penalty in any way. If anything, while this is a 1.18 times buff to regular Deadly Blow single target damage, this is only going to buff your DPS with elemental essences at Mortis by around 4%. Steam Mechanicus is receiving the simplest buffs. All turret talents are being improved by an additional 2 points. If you take a look at how much the turrets get buffed, the upgrade alone buffs Tesla Turret and Mechanical Turret by 8%, while also buffing Machine Gun Turret by 10%. When comparing upgraded Dragan to normal, you get a total buff of 35% damage from Mechanical and Tesla Turrets, and almost 50% damage on the Machine Gun Turret. This is now capable of beating the Ancestral Glory set in terms of turret damage, as long as Mortis set isn't in play. Some additional changes from this update include an overall nerf to the jewel from Ancestral Ruins in terms of wolf spawn rate. It was already something only really useful for Forgotten Glory mages, and now in my opinion is just completely irrelevant. Lastly, they removed the Dragon Egg ingredients as drops from the wanted missions, so now there's no longer a benefit to farming them in group. I'm excited to try and see the upgraded versions of Ranger and Spellweaver in action, so you can expect those to be my next 2 videos. Good luck on the grind, and see you later.